Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I was kind of thinking what I wanted to do for my next video for the last couple of days, and it's Friday today. I just cleaned the house. I'm having people over tomorrow. I'm actually having my sister and a couple of my cousins because one of my cousins got engaged, so we're gonna celebrate her engagement. So I'm actually having everyone over and I'm making brunch, and that's not something that I normally do, so it'll be fun, it'll be interesting, we'll see how it goes. But I finally got done cleaning the house and I sat down and I was watching TV, and I had on the show Jail, and I watch a lot of Lockup on MSNBC on the weekends, and I watch Death Row and Jail, and I'm super interested in all of those shows. And I think one of the main reasons that I'm interested in it is because of my experience I had with Jail. So I thought today would be a good opportunity for me to tell you guys about my story on how I went to jail and how it all went down. So all of you, I'm sure, know. If you don't know, I'll tell you now. I've been sober now for going on 3 years. In April, on April 5th, it will be 3 years that I've been sober. It was the absolute best decision of my life. I had plenty of fun while I was drinking. I don't miss it at all, but I also had plenty of chaos, as is part of this story will show you. So, you know, not drinking, life of sobriety has been awesome for me. My sister and I are actually going out tomorrow night. She'll, you know, get juice, tie one on, and I will be perfectly fine having a blast not doing it. So I'm very grateful that it's been easy for me. I know a lot of people that are in recovery. It's a struggle on a daily basis, and I do thank, you know, my higher power, my God, for helping me. I'm not trying to get all religious on you, but I do thank God as often as I can, or as often as I remember, not as I can, because I could always thank him more. But I am very grateful for where I am today. I'm probably in the best place in my life. But so being in the best place in my life, let's reverse back to one of the lowest spots in my life, which actually tends to be kind of a funny story when you're telling it back. I'm sure my mom wouldn't laugh, but I have told this story a handful of times, and people do find it quite humorous. So it is probably 6 years ago, I got my second DUI. Another reason why, you know, I joke that when I quit drinking, I had checked off everything on the list that was, you know, are you an alcoholic? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So I got my second DUI. I was 28 years old, and what had happened is we had just moved into, my girlfriends and I had just moved into a new house, and we literally were moving everything, moving all the boxes. We got done. Of course, I was like, let's go to the neighborhood bar and celebrate. And so we did that. I didn't even drive. So because I didn't drive, I was just one after another, woo-hoo. But mind you, I am in a ball cap, I'm sweaty, I'm dirty, I didn't take a shower that day. I'm wearing a shirt, a t-shirt, that has a picture of a sheep on it, and it says SILF. So sheep I would like to fuck. That's a whole nother story, but I was wearing that t-shirt, you know, just not a care in the world. Got totally tuned up. My two friends wanted to go back to the house. They didn't want to stay out any longer. And one of my sister's friends was still at the bar, so I decided to stay with him. And he said he'd give me a ride home. So by this time, I kind of blacked out. I don't really remember a ton of this, but I've put the pieces together now that what happened was he brought me home, and I could tell by like the next day when I looked at my keys that I must have been trying, this was my first night in this house, so I must have been trying to get into the house and didn't know how to unlock the door because the key was just like the next day, it was just like bent. And so in this state of chaos and drunkenness, I guess I decided to get in my car and drive to Taco Bell. I don't know why that was going to fix anything, but that's what I decided to do. So I don't remember any of this. It was just super scary, and I totally do not condone that. I am so lucky that I didn't hurt anyone, including myself, and am very ashamed that I did these things. But this is just what happened, and I'm being real and honest on how I went to jail. So I was going to Taco Bell, and I guess in the Taco Bell drive-thru, from what I've heard, I must have bumped the car in front of me, but I don't remember any of that. What I remember is coming to out of a blackout and looking around, and there are policemen in front of me. There are like 3 cop cars lined up in the parking lot of Taco Bell, and there is a fire truck on the freaking road of Taco Bell with its lights on. Like, did we really need all of that? I wasn't going to spontaneously combust or anything. We didn't probably need the fire truck. But so that's what I remember. And I don't know, because I was so drunk, I don't know if they were going to let me go, but they did allow me to call my girlfriend. And I'm kind of curious on if I would have told her. What I ended up telling her is that I was still at the bar I was at. Can you come get me? I'm in trouble. But I was at Taco Bell. So she didn't find me, whatever. They waited around. They ended up putting me in the back of the cop car. Getting to the police station, kind of a blur. Getting checked in, kind of a blur. The picture they took, holy smokes, is that one to keep. It's horrible, and if you do Google my name and look deep enough, you can find my mugshot, which is very embarrassing. But so all of this is around the time that I'm starting to like sober up a little bit, and enough to at least kind of be coherent. So I called my boyfriend at the time, and I told him, you have to call my brother. Here's his number. He's a lawyer. You have to tell him that I got a DUI. So it was probably 11 o'clock at night, so they decided to check me in. So this is the process that I guess you go through when you get into jail. I didn't necessarily know this. I don't know why I would needed to know this, but they bring you into like a changing area with a female police officer, a male if you're male, and they make you get completely naked, and then they make you squat down and cough while you're naked, which is ridiculously demeaning and blah, blah, blah. So then they put, I mean, you have to understand, like, I'm like juiced right now, so I'm not really knowing what's going on. They put me in the orange garb. They give me like my sheets or whatever they give you to carry, like your knapsack, you know, and we're walking down the hallway of the jail. Of course, I don't know if you recognized me, I see a guy I went to fricking high school with is the security guard. I'm like, that's great. Mascara all over my face. Not that that matters. I'm in jail, for crying out loud. So I got into my cell, and I mean, I was still tuned, so I just passed right out. I didn't know what was going on. So I wake up the next day, and reality hits. I don't know if you've had those times where you wake up and you had a drunk night the night before, and reality hits, and probably your reality is like, did I kiss anyone weird? Is there anyone in my bed? Do I have my cell phone? That wasn't mine. Mine was, I'm laying on a cot or a bunk in a little teeny jail cell, and I started to go crazy, like claustrophobic crazy. No one can help me. No one cares that I'm in there. So as this is happening, I'm kind of laying back, and all of a sudden what's that? And I open my eyes, and my very, very large, overweight, black cellmate is taking a dump in my cell right there. Like, hi, how's it going? Smells like you might have ate some asparagus. What's going on? So that was my first experience in waking up. Then she proceeds to ask me if I would pay for her bail so she could get out to get her welfare check. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? So they call my name. I guess when you haven't seen a judge, they won't let you into like normal population. So they were keeping me in my cell. They call my name. I go down and it's my brother. And it was a really sad, depressing, demeaning moment. Like, I was in my orange jail jumpsuit. I'm begging him, please get me out of here. And he's saying, Kristen, there's nothing I can do. Like, you have to be there 20 or 48 hours before they'll release you. So I said, please just do whatever you can, get me out of here. He's like, I'll see what I can do. And so they send me back up to the cell, and I'm like going nuts. So some time goes past, and they call my name again, and they bring me down to this cell. Now, I don't know how this happened. We're in this big cell, but all of a sudden I kind of became the alpha. I don't know how. I didn't really say anything. But like, girls are asking me to read their freaking letter they wrote to the judge talking about, you know, the crack, and they're going to be done with it, and so on and so forth. And so I'm just like, whoa, like, this is my life right now. Like, you know, these women are, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh my God. So I finally go down, see a judge. I think I pled guilty. I'm not sure what happened. And then they brought me back in the cell, and I was like, okay, good. They'll bring me back upstairs, and I can just at least be upstairs, like in general population or whatever. Well, and I could use the phone. I couldn't use a phone. I'm in this little cell. So I'm talking hours go by. Like, I am crawling out of my skin hours. The walls are closing in on me, and finally they open the door and they name off like 4 other names, and they name off my name. So I leave. I'm like, oh, they're taking me back upstairs. They walk us down the hall. I'm not kidding. This was like the movie Saw. They walk us down the hall, and they put us into a smaller cell and slam the door. And we're talking like in the like loins of the St. Paul Ramsey County Jail. Throw away the key. No one effing cares that you're there. No windows, no nothing, just a little slit in the door. And, you know, you've got one toilet that's completely open for everyone to see. And there's paper, there's bathroom toilet paper shrapneled all over it like paper mache, like they were creating an art piece. So you don't want to even use the toilet. So I ended up, like, finally, I like was screaming out, and I was like, please, somebody help me. And this security guard came, and I said, please, can you call my brother? Like, they haven't let me use the phone. I need to call my brother to tell him what my bail is, in order for him to get me out, so on and so forth. So this prison guard, and still to this day, like, he was my savior, like my little angel. He went and called my brother and told him what the bail was. Somehow God, I didn't know what was going to happen, so I'm still like, you know, tearing my hair out, just like, what is going to happen here, going crazy. There's a girl like crying in the corner because her lesbian girlfriend's going to leave her because she got picked up again, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ah, like, I don't belong here. That's what I'm feeling like. Even though I did belong there, I did something completely wrong. So finally they come down. It seemed like, I'm not kidding, eternity. Like, you don't, in jail, your opinion, which I've been raised by a very strong mother who tells me my opinion matters and I need to speak out for myself. Your opinion, your words, your thoughts, your priorities, your needs, your wants do not matter. Like, nothing matters. So they finally come get me. They change me into street clothes, and they bring me upstairs. And right as I'm leaving, you know, the security guard said to me, he goes, you know, I was crying, and he said, you know, you get to decide if you want to turn your life around. And that really touched me. It really did. And he said, I've been there, which felt good that he was relating to me. And so I rounded the corner, and then on the other side of the glass was my mom, you know, my poor mom just coming to have to get me at jail, like your daughter's in jail. And we both just started bawling, and I left. And you know what the saddest part about all of it is that I was thinking of alcohol probably before I even got out of the jail. That's how bad my alcoholism was. I ended up after that, I didn't drink and drive. I didn't even have a drop of alcohol and drive for probably another almost 2 years. And then towards the end of my drinking, I was driving again, which is, that'll show you what the tight grip of alcoholism has on you. But so that was my experience in jail. I never, ever, 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 ever want to go back. I get extremely frightened when I see cops because I feel like they can just put me in a cell and everybody forgets about me. But you know, you'd think that that would have been a good learning lesson on where my life was going, but it took me 3 more years before I figured it out. But yeah, jail is not fun. Avoid it if you can. You'll wake up to your big black cellmate taking a big fat dump in the cell with you, and there's nothing glamorous about that. But love you guys. Let me know if you have any similar experiences or if you can relate to that. And we'll talk soon. Sorry, my phone's been going mad berserkies. Bye-bye.